All right. You know, last night I was too shocked, like genuinely shocked, almost to the point of being speechless. I mean, if you noticed on that video, guys, it seemed as though I lacked words. I actually had a lot to say, but I was still quite shocked. Yeah. So, because of that shock, I did not share with you all my observations during and after KV's disqualification. There were certain things that I saw, and hey, God, not like I found them unbelievable, but it was more like a eureka moment for me because it was more like an additional piece to what is not so much of a puzzle of Nate. Yeah, of Nate. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot I want to spill. I'm going to do exactly that on this video. So please watch till the end, all right? And aside Nate, that was also the rest of the house. All the housemates, these people were rejoicing last night. Their joy, the fun, the excitement, the way they were dancing, the way they were making so much noise, even to the point of, you know, putting on a South African warriors dance performance. Guys, hey, it seemed as though their sworn enemy had just been disqualified. And so everybody was rejoicing. Even Pilile, the way they were rejoicing, guys, it was wild. Sipesicle even went as far as composing a song on the spot. Oh my goodness. Guys, even KB's so-called gang, the cool kids. In fact, if I am not over-exaggerating, the cool kids, they rejoiced the most. They were sort of like the loudest. Guys, see, that one happened. And see, yeah, oh my goodness, guys, there's a lot I want to share. And I'm going to share on this video. So please watch to the end. Don't skip out on any part, all right? And of course, I would love to hear your thoughts and observations as well in the comment section below, all right? And yeah, before we get into it, guys, great news. I announced this on my previous video, but I don't know if a lot of you caught it because I announced really at the end of that video, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you all that this Saturday, we are going to be having a live conversation with Bunny B herself. Yes, we're going to be having a live conversation with Bunny B. And I decided to move up the time for our live conversations. You know, normally we do 3 p.m. WAT every Saturday. But then I'm looking at the fact that because of the difference, the time difference between Nigeria and South Africa, if we start by 3 p.m., we might not have enough time to cover everything we need to discuss with Bunny. And I might not be able to also interact with all of you that will be on that live conversation that day. And then there's also the Saturday night party that would start by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, or rather 9 p.m. Nigerian time, you know. So I don't want to inconvenience anybody. I don't want us to miss out on the party. So we are moving the time for the Saturday live to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, which is 3 p.m. South African time. I don't know if you all get me. So what that means is instead of 3 p.m. WAT that we will be having the live conversation, we will be having it by 2 p.m. WAT, which translates to be 3 p.m. South African time. All right. And if you're going to be joining from any part of the world, please just do the time calculation, please, or check Google, right? It's quite easy. Just type into Google what is 2 p.m. South Africa and Nigerian time according to your own time zone, and you will get the accurate timing. All right. Now, all of that said, you're all specially welcome to my channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, we dive right into the video. First, let's begin with Nate. Now, I don't know how many of you was watching Nate's reactions when Big Brother was pronouncing his verdict on KB. But there was this look on her face when Big Brother mentioned that she had violated Section 16, blah, 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 of the rule book. She was guilty of sexual harassment via conversations and is it physical, whatever, whatever. The moment Big Brother mentioned all of those things, Nate turned and looked at, I think it was Beaky that was seated next to her. She looked at him and was like, you know, For me, the way I interpreted that expression, it was more like, oh my goodness, I did not think all of these conversations we've been raising was going to get this swift reaction from the public and it was going to lead to this. For her, it was like, wow, this thing worked. This is the second time. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when that Bonnie B situation was going on, I told you all that Nate was simply a mastermind. All she was doing, it wasn't like she really genuinely cared about KB. No. All she was doing was basically using KB's said story or story of trauma to enhance her game. And Nate is a very smart girl. She understands the cancel culture in South Africa. So what she was doing was she found information and then she weaponized it. She found someone, a victim, and then she weaponized that person as well. She used that person as a tool. She used that person's story as a weapon. She engineered it. And South Africans took the bait. I'm not trying to belittle or water down the situations of sexual violence in South Africa, guys. Please do not get me wrong. But this is how, I perceived what these housemates were doing and how I interpreted their actions and reactions, of course. And guys, you don't even need a soothsayer to show you what Nate was on about. For every single person that she told about Bonnie B's statement, she would always impute, yes, I wanted to see your reaction. Yes, you see that look on your face? That's what I was looking forward to. She always said that she needed to see people's reaction. And that she would drag the conversation for long. And she did that until she got the result that she wanted. And even after Bonnie B got evicted, what were the things that she was saying? Like, oh yes, I knew that South Africans would not take this rubbish. I knew that South Africans would cancel her. Guys, Nate was heavy on the South African cancel culture and she got the result. And to show you how dangerous her game is, Nate did not take pity on her friend, the victim. She started that same smear campaign that she used on Bonnie B. She started it on her dear friend, KB. And KB did not see it coming because she so much trusted Nate. She had a good friendship with Mandy Hagan. But guess what? Nate convinced her to dump Mandy. You see what Nate did? She used the strategy of isolation, like pushed away the many people that KB trusted. Yep. And so became the only person that KB could depend on. Because even in the midst of that, there are cool kids, snakes, people's gang, whatever. Nate was the only person that KB was using as a crutch. KB thought she was strong, but she wasn't. She was using Nate as a crutch, but Nate was using KB as a tool for her game, weaponizing KB's story, weaponizing KB's trauma. It might seem as though I'm giving Nate too much credit, but ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. This girl is dangerous. She's a mastermind. Now, fast forward to after Kayb'S disqualification. She stayed there, consoled BK, and then she went outside and was now hushing everybody because the housemates were shocked. And it turned out that not all of them had actually heard of that conversation because Nate was quite strategic about it. There were people that she was having the conversations with, especially the people in their friendship group. So most of the people in the other parts of the groups, right, they were not really aware of what was going on. So they were gathered and they were having conversations about it. Mandy Hagan actually said that she saw what happened, that KB was quite, rough with BK. BK ran into the bathroom when that whole thing happened on Monday. And KB even wanted to chase him into the bathroom. But, she and I think Tyrone, they were telling KB, stop, go upstairs, leave him alone, that kind of thing. So Nate was going around giving people the version of the story that she wanted them to have and then telling them not to talk about it anymore because it's going to traumatize not only BK, but other housemates that have also experienced that level of sexual harassment from KB. And guys, you know the part that shocked me the most was when she went to the smoking area of the garden where there was Tyrone, Sipali, Melino, who else was there? Swiss, that their friendship group, the guys. It was when she went there and Tyrone was trying to sort of explain what he saw happen. And Nate just got there and she told them, you know what, I'm going to talk now. And after I talk, this is the last time we should talk about it. I don't want any of us to talk about it anymore. So this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. People have been complaining about it. And so Big Brother, noticed it or heard it, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the part, right? Here's the punchline that almost made me gag. She lied. She said, oh, even when it happened to me, I didn't even cough it out to anybody. I didn't even tell anybody. I said, huh? You didn't do what? Nate told this to Jojo. Nate also had a conversation about it with BK. That whole BK situation, BK did not want to really talk about it, but Nate started up the conversation. BK was expressing himself. I mean, it was quite understandable because both of them, they are very close. They're friends. And then in the line of speaking about BK's experience, she now told BK her own. And who knows how many people she had conversations with, I mean, amongst her friendship group. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was the fact that she lied. And they were still trying to probe. And she said, no, they should not talk about it anymore. That's going to traumatize BK and other housemates that have experienced it. In other words, insinuating that her friend, KB, had sexually harassed not only BK, but multiple other housemates in the house. In other words, also labeling her friend, KB, as one who has the tendency to be a rapist. That is KB's friend, Nate. The same Nate that was putting on a show that, oh yes, she's protective over KB. She's KB's best friend. She's the only one that is always consoling KB anytime KB is crying. Every time Bunny B is mean and cruel to KB, she's the only person that KB has got in that house. And KB used Nate as a crutch. And even, guys, if you had been watching, you would have seen that there were times that Nate was getting irritated by KB being around her all the time because Google did not lie. KB started following Nate around the house like Nate was her mother. On Tuesday, KB had a diary session. Before going in there, she wasn't wearing slippers or shoes. And then she went to go and beg Nate for Nate's shoes. And Nate was like, no. Like, she made it look like KB was irritating her. And KB was like, it's not fair now. And then she went to go and get her own slippers. And then she went inside the diary room. And that thing really hurt KB. So later on, KB was sat by herself. She did not want to go to Nate anymore to go and decide. Nate had to come and drag KB. No, come and sit with us. Because she saw that she hurt that girl's feelings. But she had to continue playing her role of being KB's mommy in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, is it adding up now? Is it making sense to you? Let me know in the comment section if you're catching the drift. Speaking of KB, I've mentioned before that her story sounds like there's something off about it. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. And I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that KB was lying about her story because I don't know. I wasn't there. It's a traumatic experience that nobody should have to go through. So I'm not going to entirely cancel it and say it did not happen. However, because of my experience with past housemates of this Big Brother show, be it Big Brother South Africa or Big Brother Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, there is no completely disputing the fact that this story is part of KB's strategy to thrive in the game. For her, this strategy was going to win her that 2 million rands. And her diary session, and even some of the comments she makes around the house, proves it. During her diary session, she expressed shock at the housemates nominating her for possible eviction this week. According to her, she thought that, oh, after everything that happened, that nobody would nominate her. What does that tell you? It goes to tell you that she thought that she had the upper hand, that her story was winning the crowd, which it was actually, if not for the fact that she actually messed up. I'm telling you for free that I had a strong feeling that Kebby was going to walk away with that 2 million rands, because a lot of South Africans were ready to give her that money as the rape victim. Yep. Now, another thing is that KB continued to play the victim card until her disqualification, and it backfired, which resulted in her disqualification. And I'll tell you how. If you all noticed, KB continued to play the victim. She continued to play the victim game, even in the midst of all of her provocations, her bullying, her insensitivity towards other people. KB continued to play the victim card. After Bonnie B's eviction, what was she saying? Our ancestors are not playing. Our ancestors saw. Our ancestors did the Lord's work. Blah, 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 blah. She was hyping up her ancestors. She was saying, yes, thank God, I am relieved. Even during her diary session, oh, big brother, I am relieved. I got justice. I got so much. To the point that, hold on a second, to the point that even whilst sexually harassing her fellow housemates, especially those ones in a friendship group, she kept on consoling herself with the fact that, oh yes, I am the victim, so they know that by nature I'm already a flirtatious person. They know that I'm very playful. They know that I touch people a lot, so they should understand. For her backup is that she's the victim. So the victim cannot be wrong. The victim cannot be at fault. The victim cannot be accused of sexual harassment. That was a myopic thinking. Even when they sent that mental health therapist and activist into the house on Sunday, and that woman was educating these people on all of these things, and even when Ashley tried to even bring up another scenario that hurt people, the victim can also become a rapist by virtue of their sordid experience at the hands of their rapist. The woman also tried to brush it under the carpet because for her, no, they were still talking about showing empathy to the rape victim, which was KB. The internet almost swallowed up Ashley. They called her names. They said she was a rape apologist. But guess what? That thing Ashley pointed out, that woman swept under the carpet, that was what KB was doing. And that was exactly what happened. Another thing is her apology to the guys. Even whilst apologizing to the guys yesterday, Melino had helped her to call for a men's conference. Instead of her to go and apologize to BK directly, BK and Swiss and Nate and whoever else had complained, she decided to call for a men's conference. KB was still playing the victim card. She still saw her victim despite all of those complaints. She was gaslighting those boys. She was playing this, this cheap emotional blackmail card. Emotionally blackmailing them, telling them that, you know that this is how I am. You guys know I'm flirtatious. I'm very, very touchy. And so I'm going to keep away from you because I don't want you to be uncomfortable because some of you have complained. And I know, I was just looking at this girl like, this girl, there's something wrong with you. It's either you're not very educated or enlightened or exposed, or you're just acting it out. You have played this your victim game so much that it has gotten into your head that you now even believe your own lies. You now believe your own acting, which is wild. Really wild. So she was, guys, she was guilt-tripping these boys. In other words, by acting like she was apologizing to them and then she was crying like, oh my God, I'm getting emotional, let me not cry. She was guilt-tripping them, in the sense that, oh, how can you not understand that me being a rape victim, you should not be mad at me if I did something to you. That was what she was doing. So she was gaslighting those boys. Until, ladies and gentlemen, look where it led her. a shameful exit from Big Brother's house. At least Bonnie B was not shamefully evicted. When she got on that stage, most of the people in the audience, they went wild with joy. They were shaking her hands. They were showing her so much love. So at least Bonnie B got a celebrated exit, not a shameful one. But KB, the victim, got a shameful exit. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk more on Saturday during our live conversation. But in the meantime, I would love to hear your thoughts about all I have shared. All right, so please go ahead and share in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.